As our reporters are out in our community working on stories, they often come across someone doing something unique or making a difference. Well, tonight, we wanted to take a moment to introduce you to Mary-Johna Ween. Kimberly Craig met Mary-Johna while reporting on an incident at Wyandotte's historic Oakwood Cemetery. Mary-Johna is someone who is working hard to make sure that her community's rich history is not forgotten. So tonight, we want to raise her voice.
I first met Mary-Johna Ween a few weeks ago when we came here to Oakwood Cemetery to do a story about how would-be thieves were trying to steal from them. And I was fascinated by how much she knew about the people buried here and her passion for history.
I never thought Oakwood would be my passion place, but I kind of got drafted here and I love it.
Mary-Johna Ween has always loved history, and she knows it well, especially the stories of those buried here in Wyandotte's Oakwood Cemetery, like Frank Manor, a Civil War veteran who, after the death of his teenage son, struggled in his marriage, especially after taking up with a mistress.
And she had a father who did not like Frank because he was a married man. I mean, you don't get with a married man. You don't want that for your child. So he threatened Frank. A few weeks later, Frank's body shows up. Right by where modern-day Elizabeth Park is today. This is Mary-Johna. This is Ford family, so it's from the original owners of this home.
Mary-Johna showed us around Wyandotte's Historical Museum, a place rich with some rather unique history, like this old family wreath from the 1800s. It's made from human hair and considered special because it represented members of a family.
I've always loved history, but I didn't think I'd help save a house in Wyandotte.
And that's how Mary-Johna got involved in Wyandotte's Historical Society about 12 years ago when she was a senior in high school.
The city was going to tear down the Antoine Labadie house. It is this big, beautiful Victorian home, and I did not want to see it tore down.
Preserving history has become her passion. She's kind of like a walking encyclopedia.
Some of them have really just sad stories. Margaret Campu, she was 27 when she died of postpartum complications. Absolutely beautiful. And for the family to still have that. And it's not a traditional wedding dress. It was striped and it was like an olive green type color. That's really cool that they held on to stuff like that.
And by teaching her own children and others, she hopes to preserve the stories of the past, like that of Civil War veteran Lewis Christ, whose headstone seemingly disappeared over the decades.
After looking at old maps, we found that his headstone belonged in this general area. And we dug down and found it. It was about 4 feet deep.
And it sank.
It had sank.
The old headstone was destroyed, but Mary-Johna applied for a new one for veterans, and this is it.
Lewis has been forgotten. He was forgotten in time, and nobody even knew he was here. And so now that if you're walking through the cemetery, you can at least say, oh, Lewis Christ. I don't know who you are, but it's really cool to see you.
In Wyandotte, Kimberly Craig, 7 Action News.
Gotta love a little historian there. Love it. Thank you, Kim.